Seventh heaven for Fulham tonight as Blackburn Rovers suffer their biggest loss at Ewood Park. Surely heads have got to roll today. We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, looking back at Blackburn Rovers' latest shambles, the biggest disgraceful performance of Blackburn Rovers, 7-0 loss, not on the road, at bloody Ewood Park. Goodness gracious me, as Rovers suffer their biggest loss in their 146-year history. This is the worst we have ever suffered a defeat at Ewood Park. 7-0 loss, an embarrassment of riches for Rovers tonight, as of course we were not even out the races. And to be fair, Fulham weren't even that good. Goodness gracious me, if they actually would have gone out of third or fourth gear, it could have been 10, it could have been 12-0. And of course, some of the shambolic performances tonight. We'll elaborate on all of it in a minute, of course. But anyway, before we get the deep in, of course, if you're new, where you been, smash the old subscribe, keep back up to all things Blackburn Rovers latest championship, world football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. God, let's get into it then. Let's break down the numbers, break down the team, break it all down. Of course, it did make matters weren't made easy for Blackburn Rovers when, of course, we went down to 10 men. But at that point, we're already 2 goals down. Of course, the goals coming from a Cabano, easy as you like. I'm not trying to blow smoke up their arses or anything, but Fulham, it was like a training session for them from the get-go. The Cabana goal was a book of errors from Rovers. I thought Bradley Johnson was gashed today. I thought Joe Rothwell was shit. Who else was a passenger? Paul Buckley got pulled off because of the red card. We didn't get to see him on the pitch. And of course, I thought, why on earth would you pull one of your most, if not your most creative player on the pitch at the moment? Batshit crazy. We'll elaborate on all of those in a minute. But anyway, Cabano opened up the scoring. It was quite an easy goal, very easy, textbook thing coming down the right hand side, pulled the ball back, Cabana banged it on in, easy peasy, good discretion. Second goal, Mitrovic from a corner. Why on earth was Nyambe, no dig on Nyambe himself, but why on earth, whose fucking brain fart was it to say, hey Nyambe, you are pretty small, why don't you mark the one of the nations, if not the hottest goal scorer in the nation at the moment, Mitrovic, why don't you go get him? Yeah, you're about 5 foot nothing, of course, up against this walking brick of muscle who will just power through anybody to get the ball in the back of the net. Why on earth was Nyambe on there? Usually Nyambe's are supposed to be I don't know, they're supposed to be outside of the box or something like that. The fullbacks have been small, they're tiny, they're not gonna boss it in the air for this one, are they? Get Lennon on it. It wasn't, of course, when the next time the corner came around, where was Nyambe? He was nowhere near to be seen. Someone out of all that made the brave decision to say, hey Nyambe, mark Mitro goal. You got this guy, haven't you? It shouldn't have been him. It should have been Van Heck. It should have been bloody Lennon. It should have been somebody. It should have been Bradley Johnson. It should have been one of those guys, a tall, more imposing figure. It was a piece of piss for Alexander Mitrovic put the ball in the back of the net. Anyway, 2-0 down, Rovers already at this. And I thought, you know what, if we could get 1 goal back before half-time, yeah, we're in this one. But no, instead of that, we decided to unleash our fucking Mortal Kombat moves and fucking karate kick a Fulham guy. I think it was Harry Wilson, whatever the fuck. We karate kicked his head off. And of course, off he goes with the red card. So it was a stupid sort of thing. There was no escaping it, to be honest with you. He was going for the ball. Of course, he wasn't going to maliciously take out the man out. But of course, when you go for that, you got to make sure you get the ball, not get the man. And that's what he did. He got the man, and it was ugly. It was bad. Definite red. But that was it. I thought at that point, yes, we're going to be here for a bit of a cricket score. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I was thinking maybe 4-0 we could get out of this one, but I was hoping that we could maybe even grind it out and maybe show a bit of fight, show a bit of desire, show a bit of composure or resolution or something to give the poor bastards that were at Ewood Park something to shout about, scream about. They were cheering. Just getting the ball back, for crying out loud. It was that bad. It was that painful. And I did a watch along this one with guys, people watching me watch that dross and watch me get pumped, or getting Rovers get pumped 7-0. Oh, it was embarrassing. It's like pulling teeth out. And I went to the fucking dentist today. I've had a tick in my fucking back. I've had teeth jabbed out and poked out by the butchers at the dentist. But this, my friends, this was the worst pain I've had today. 7-0 embarrassment at home. Oh, forget about it. Forget about it. That's we've only talked about 2 goals here. We've only talked about 2 goals. The rest of the goals coming at you at half-time. Fair enough. 2-0 down to 10 men. Get in there. Stick a rocket up their fucking arse, Tony Mowbray. Stick a fucking rocket up their arse. Give them something to fucking fight about or get their heads around. But no. What did you fucking do? What did you fucking do? You turned your back on your fucking players, Mowbray. You turned your fucking back on your fucking players when all the shit was hitting the fan. When it was 4-0 fucking down. Not 7. Not bloody 7. You turned your back. 4-0 down. Goodness gracious me. Those goals, anyway, coming at you. Wilson with the first. He then got a second one, 58 minutes. That's when Mowbray turned his fucking back on his players. Then, of course, Kamada. Why don't you play that fucking clip back in your little video room? Play that fucking clip back where you turned your back on your players. Where was the fucking encouragement? Where was you telling them to get their heads in the game? You're supposed to be not just the guy who puts the people on the pitch. You're supposed to be the one that gives them the focus. You give them the, hey, get your fucking shit together, Brereton. Get your ass up there. Johnson, get the fuck off this field. You're dragging us in the mud. Fucking get a grip. Get a bloody grip. What else do we have here then? Of course, then Kamara got his second. Then, of course, substitution comes off the bench. Backs a couple of goals. Rodrigo with it. I haven't even looked at the fucking stats here. 67% possession for Fulham. 33% going in favour of Rovers. Just 5 shots on the day. And they were, one of them off target. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's not too bad. 18 shots to Fulham. 7 off target. 7 on bloody target at least because they all went in the bloody back of the net. Corners 8-2. We just weren't in this game. So who are the 11 unlucky sons of bitches? They're going to be pinned to this one in the record books. Kaminski, Van Heck, Lenihan, Adun, Nyambi, Johnson, Travis, Rothwell, Diaz, Dolan and Buckley. Now, I saw Rothwell make a couple of really bad errors. Johnson, I don't even know what the shit he was doing. I think he was playing as a false 9 at some stage in that match. I do not know what that shit was all about. Teo Adun, fair play. I thought Teo Adun was compared to the shit and the drivel and the dross that was out there today. Teo Adun was credit to the jersey, credit to the badge. Showed a bit of fight, showed a bit of character. He was everywhere. He was like a bad bloody stink. He was everywhere. You know, just in amongst it. You know, nobody wanted to have a fucking shot today. Diaz trying to make things work, but Dolan was like a ghost. Paul Buckley got pinged off at not even half time. Substitutions came on. Carter, Costello, good to see him back. Butterworth as well. Is that all I got? Is that all I got? We don't even get to see the bloody Fulham players. I don't know what went on there. Anyway, Fulham's Roddick between the sticks. Adoy, Hector, Ream, Robinson, Reed, Surrey, or Seri, Wilson, Cordova, Reed, Cabana, Mitrovic. And on came, of course, Kearney, Carvalho, and Munez as well. What else do we have here? These are the shot grid. A couple of long-range spectaculars there for Fulham as well, trying to beat Kaminski off his line. A couple of them were pretty close as well, but you're going to have to do something special to do that. Look at Rovers. Piss poor efforts. Just 4 real efforts within the 18-yard box. One long-range one. But to be honest with you, it's absolutely shit. Who actually got them? Burton got 2. Dolan got 1. Johnson got 1. And Lenihan got 1. Where's Rothwell? Where's bloody Rothwell? Oh, forget it. Forget it. This is look at the fucking heat map. Look at the bloody heat map for Blackburn Rovers. Look at the fucking heat map. This is at home, by the way, at Ewood Park. Look at the fucking state of that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my bloody gosh. As for Fulham, of course, all over the place as they do. You know, they took, and they didn't really play that good. You know what? I think if they really wanted to do it, and I think there was a little bit of fight in that second half. There was maybe some players in the Fulham team just thought, you know what? Let's put down a statement of intent. Let's give these guys a bit of a whooping here instead of not taking the break off, or you know what I mean, easing up. They wanted it. You know, you can. I thought there was a bit in his teeth that he wanted a bit something. Wilson wanted it from that challenge. I think maybe that was fueling the fire, but ultimately. It probably should have been double bloody digits. Double bloody digits. It should have been bloody double digits. They should have carved us a new one. These are the teams in all its glories. I never get these ratings. I really don't. Mitrovic with a 9.2. He got 1 goal. And to be fair, he wasn't that good. Give Cabano, a high rating there. Wilson as well. The rest of the guys, that back 4 was hardly troubled at all. At all. They weren't even in that game. As for Rovers, you know, Teo Adun with a 5.6. That's a bit harsh. Rough over 6. Bradley's just 6.5. I don't know. I really, honestly don't know what they're thinking here with some of these ratings. Oh, but anyway, that's a little bit what I've had to say. What about the gaffer? Tony, Anthony, what have you got? What babble's going to come out your mouth now to make everything better as we look forward to our 146th birthday on the weekend? What can you actually say that's going to make me smile?
Well, it was a tough night for us, I'd give you that. I think, I'm not sure it's a time for any emotional speeches tonight about the game. I think played against a good team, 11v11. We played against a good team, 11v10, and ultimately, as we did once or twice ourselves last season, you can run away with a game, and we found it very difficult to stop their flow, and they took the chances as they came.
They were ruthless with their chances tonight. Mm-hmm. From your perspective,
yeah,
how many of them were poor goals to concede?
Well, I know the first two were very poor to concede, I'd have to say. It's been a long time since I've seen a concede like the second one, a corner straight into the 6-yard box and headed straight in. But that just hasn't happened to us for a long time. But as I said, listen, I'm not sure it's a time for me to sit here and pour over it. We'll pour over it tomorrow with the team, and I think Rob just said to me there, that's generally that's not the team that you see when you support Blackburn Rovers. I think it's only the second time in a year we've lost by more than one goal. It's if it was a common theme that we were losing 3, 4s, 5s on a regular basis, I think you would see a soft underbelly of the team, but I don't think that's the case. I think this team deserve a little bit more credit, but obviously that's on a night like tonight, there's no credit. We have to accept it, we have to take it on the chin. Played against a good side who were very, very ruthless against us, and we have to put it behind us very, very quickly and move on into the game in 48 hours.
Has it shocked you, what you saw tonight?
No, I know they're a good team. Listen, I don't think I've ever been beaten as a coach in 18, 19 years by that number. I think listen, as a coach, you know your team, and it's not the time, as I've said, to pour over the reasons, the issues, the problems. We'll reflect on it tomorrow. We'll try and rebuild some level of belief going into the next game on Saturday.
Did you believe the sending off was the correct call by the referee?
It doesn't matter what I think. I haven't watched it back, to be honest. I just think he's a young central defender who's very competitive and probably made a rash decision going with his boot rather than his head. I think I asked him why he didn't try and head the thing, not kick it, and I'm pretty sure there was no malice in it. Maybe, but we have to abide by the decision, and it's obviously give us severe problems to try and deal with.
What's the thing to do after a night like this, Tony? Is it to draw a line under it and say,
I think
let's get on with it?
As I said to you, listen, if I think it was a regular occurrence, we were getting beat pretty heavily most weeks, I think, or the odd week, it'd be a problem that we could look at and think that the team has got a soft underbelly or whatever. But you've watched us for the last however many years, really. If we lose a football match, we generally lose it very, very tight games, 2-1, 1-0. It's very, very rare we lose a game by more than one goal, and that's because of the spirit of the team and the togetherness, and I just think we played against a really team that was on it tonight, really a really high quality football team with some very talented individuals at the top end of the pitch, and we suffered.
Can you give us an indication what you as a manager say to a group when you've had a night like that, when you go in after a game?
An indication? Well, listen, you have to look at the group we've got, and we have some, as I say it regularly, we've got some very, very young players, and that'll stay on their CVs for the rest of their careers. They'll remember 7-0 defeat at home for the rest of their lives. 15 years of football they've got, some of them, and they have to reflect. We have to reflect. I have to reflect. I think I find it difficult because of my own human mechanisms, really, but they'll find their own way in life and their own career, and I think you have to put into perspective the team that's on the pitch. And I've said to you many times, and it's not the time, because I don't want to make excuses, and yet there is you know, we have some pretty key footballers in very key areas of the pitch that are unavailable for us, and that team out there today still underachieved it even with 10 men against a very good side. But it can happen. You've seen it. I've seen certain teams, Premier League teams, lose 9 with 10 men, you know, to the good teams in their division. It can happen. And as I said to you, last season we scored 5 a couple of times against 10 men, and we can run away with games, and they did tonight. They're very good players. They're very good attacking players. Punished us, and we have to accept that and draw a line under it very quickly and move on to the next game.
How is it for you?
Regarding
a result like that for you?
I know, it's the same for me as it is for the players. It's not nice, but I try and put it into perspective of where we are and the team we are, and it's not something, as I've said to you 3 times now, it's not something that is there on a regular basis. It's not the DNA of this team, and sometimes you have to accept that you played against better footballers, better players, a better team, and you know, and they were pretty ruthless with what they did tonight, and they won't be far away. You know, they'll probably be playing in the Premier League next year or very close to it.
Alrighty then, what's going on social media? Let's take a little look then at this shit show. You know, if you're a Rovers fan, stay off bloody social media for the next couple of days. So where do we go back? Anyway, there's a lot of dross in here. There is a lot of dross in here. So we go back to Chris Martin. I don't want to hear Fulham are good side, or we had 10 men, or Mowbray's still doing a good job, or who do we get if we goes. I've just seen us heaviest home league defeat ever tonight. This man has got to go. That's, of course, Chris Martin. Tom Schofield said, please, no defending Mowbray either. Tonight's not the night. Just got pasted 7-0 in a joke of a performance. It was shambolic. Northern Rover, we were awful before the sending off. Fulham have so much quality. That said, whatever the tactics were today, it didn't work at all. Players all over the place and made it easy for them. Those tweeting that Tony Mowbray should be sacked won't happen. It won't happen. Connor Pope, I think that Blackburn Rovers, that was Blackburn Rovers' worst home defeat ever. It's certainly the worst performance I've ever seen. Meanwhile, Linz Lewis said, over 4 years Mowbray has been here. First time I've ever heard him shout. Either Ewood's emptier than normal, or he is super pissed. Meanwhile, Ryan Hildred, of course, Rovers chat, said no defence of that horror show tonight. Set up wrong from the off. 2 extremely poor opening goals conceded. Idiotic red challenge. Wrong setup in half-time. After half-time, and no desire from players to prevent that getting worse. Take your pick out of the 5 goals after half-time. Embarrassed. Harry Nundia says just got out of work and seen the score. What the feck happened? Meanwhile, of course, New York Rovers said can't keep his job after this. But Ian Herbert says, betcha he does, and I'm with him. I don't see nothing changes. Radio Rovers, or Rovers Radio said, I don't want to hear it. It's an overreaction, or that I need to adjust my expectations. I particularly don't want to hear it from those who can be emotionally detached. I've just witnessed our heaviest defeat at Ewood Park. It's completely unacceptable, and heads should bloody roll. I agree. Proud Rover said, I have no words for that tonight. Those players and Tony need to take a long, hard look at themselves. Moving on. David Speedy, ex-Rovers, of course, player. I generally love Rovers, but no one, and I mean no one, deserves to see that rubbish we've seen tonight. Losing is part of sport, but 7-0 defeat at home is nothing short of disgraceful. Uncle Jack did not build this beautiful club for it to be embarrassed like this. Fuming, indeed. And Jamie said, that's the goal difference swallowed up in one game. Did not think we would win, but did not expect a landslide. Jordan Kingsley said, knew tonight would be a write-off, but what an absolute disgrace. Couple other ones in there. What else did we have? Daniel Slater, I was talking to a chap and I was saying how Blackpool have done so far. They are they're no means promotion team, but they are passionate and aggressive. Rovers, on the other hand, don't have that passion and aggression. It's obvious that little pride and passion can get you the results. And I think that's pretty much it. That's a short and condensed version of what's going on out there. Meanwhile, what's going on elsewhere on the old world of the Championship, of course, of games that did take place yesterday. Of course, Millwall picked up 1 over Reading. Forest and Sheffield United, of course, our next opponents, of course, duked out to a 1-1 draw. Coventry lost to Swansea. Of course, Peterborough picked up a draw against Huddersfield. Birmingham 3-0 winners. They're on the rise, of course, over Bristol City. Luton Town, big win for them over Middlesbrough. Today, we saw Barnsley beat Derby. Chris Wilder potentially coming in there. Cardiff lost to QPR. Bournemouth finally lost to Preston. They have the honours of breaking the back of Bournemouth. Stoke also beat in form Blackpool. And of course, West Brom beat Hull. But of course, the game of the day really was at Ewood Park, wasn't it? It really was. Of course, Fulham are now second. Of course, Rovers down to 12th. And of course, the good thing, that kind of paper over the cracks a little bit, we mathematically could be in the playoffs come this weekend if we do beat Sheffield United. Of course, everything else goes our way. However, we could also drop down to 16th if we were to suffer a defeat. Of course, speaking of this weekend, of course, Coventry will take on Bristol City. That's on Saturday. Cardiff will take on Huddersfield. We've got West Brom against Middlesbrough, Peterborough against Fulham, Millwall against Derby, Barnsley against Hull, Birmingham against Reading, Blackpool, Blackburn Rovers, of course, Sheffield United. That's the game of the day. We will have a watch on, I believe. Nottingham Forest against Preston, Luton Town against Stoke, Bournemouth, Swansea, and Blackpool will take on QPR. So that, my friends, is just about that. So Rovers, realistically, nothing's gonna happen. You know, we are that team that will allow a 7-0 result to go by and don't even bother fucking doing anything about it. But I would expect something to happen. Something. You know, you've got to make a fucking statement. The Venky's are going to make a statement apologising, maybe even offering a refund for that shit show shambles to those poor bastards that went to Ewood Park. Of course, maybe even if they have the cojones, they have the balls, and they actually do care about this club, and you think, you know what, we should be standing for this bullshit. We should be standing for this bullshit on our own backyard. A 7-0 embarrassment. You know, it shows the players cannot be arsed. And it shows the manager cannot be arsed if he turns his back on his own fucking players. When, of course, when they need them the most, when they need instruction, guidance the most, he turns his bloody back on his players. You know, something needs to be done, something needs to be said, something needs to be, communicated to the fan. The suckers, which I would be one of them, don't get me wrong, I'll be there watching, I will be there watching to probably witness, on our supposed 146th birthday celebration weekend, another shit show. There should be a fucking response come Saturday. Each and every one of those 11 morons that went out there today, not including Jog Bucker because me and him are tight right now, but every one of them should come out there, guns blazing, arse kicking, and of course willing to make up for the shit show that was, of course, this midweek. Moby should also be there, kissing ass and making names and trying to make amends for this shit show this week. Everything should be going into practice for the next couple of days, 48 hours, to rectify this humongous travesty of a wrong. Yes, it's Fulham. Yes, they're a Premier League team, but we shouldn't, no matter what, even if down to 9 fucking men, we shouldn't be losing 7-0 on our own turf. No way, no way. Something has to be done, said. Get your asses, fingers out your ass, Wagger, fingers out your ass, Venkies. Pay those poor bastards that went to the game on Wednesday night. Pay them their money back. Issue an apology. And if you've got more bigger balls, you'd get rid of Mowbray while you're at it. But I don't think any of that will happen because we are fucking run by Venkies. And right now, they just want to get through to the season and see where we all are. But that's not how... If we're going to go anywhere, we need to do something. And we're just not going to do anything. We're just going to roll over and, of course, just take it on the chin. And fortunately for Mowbray, there is a game this weekend. But again, if that ends up being another spanking, a 3-0 or 4-0, fuck, then what do we have to do? Then what do we have to do to make any change? Nothing. We just got to take it over, bend over, and take it. That's what we've got to do. That's us poor football fans at the moment, of course, especially us Blackburn Rovers fans. But anyway, I'm a little bit on edge on this one. Still very raw. Still very, And again, when you look at the black and white, if you were kind of men in black this day and just forget about it, and you look at the table, you go, yeah, that's not too bad. 2 points off of the playoffs. But 7-0 on your own turf, that's a shambles. Anyway, I'm out.